I'm Abiola Jackson. This is the Entertainment News and Celebrity Gossip TV for Tuesday, April the 15th. In entertainment news, we have some Brit Eady news. This is from the RHOA. We got her here. This is courtesy of Yahoo Entertainment and Reality T. So she's gonna break her silence after the Kenya Moore exposed explicit photos. She planned to break her silence. She actually did that on the Andy Cohen interview. You guys are gonna see that right now. She talks about the whole situation with Kenya Moore. So I'll let you listen to more of that. One moment while I get that.
Oh my God, I never had a gun.
You never had a gun.
I never had a gun in my possession at all.
Okay. So your comments at the dinner.
Let's stop right there. Andy Cohen, I have a question for you. Andy Cohen, I have a question for you. Why, if you know you found out she doesn't have a gun that night, or yeah, you found out she didn't have that a weapon that night, on the show. You found that out. Now, are you going now at that now? My question to you is: are you going to fire Brit Eady? Are you going to fire and get rid of her? Because it seems like to me that you're not going to do that. Because when you're making when a woman like Brit Eady is making false claims that she had she used the pow pow to threaten Kenya Moore, when she said that on the interview, and she wasted Bravo's time to investigate the situation. Aren't you gonna at that point? Shouldn't you fire her for false accusations or false claims that she actually used the pow pow? That's my question to you. Let's continue.
That resulted in an investigation. Obviously, weapons are not allowed on set. It was determined that you didn't violate that policy. So now watching it back, why did you say it and what do you think about it now?
You know what?
You didn't violate the policy. How's that? How is she not violating the policy? That doesn't make any sense. She threatened Kenya Moore by falsely saying that she used a pow pow. She threatened to use the pow pow on her, and you're not going to do anything about it. That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense. So Kenya Moore has gone from the show for her stupidity that everybody knows about, and Brit Eady is not gone from the show. She's not being fired from RHOA. I don't some might disagree with what I'm saying, some might agree. I really don't care. This doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense to me right now. This makes zero sense to me. Kenya Moore has gone from the show for her stupidity, like I said, and you got Brit Eady lying about using a pow pow, threatening Kenya Moore, and you're not gonna can her. She said she did nothing wrong under the policy. What kind of bullshit excuse is that? That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. In my opinion, it's bullshit. Whether y'all disagree with me or not, I don't care. I don't care. Whoever disagrees or not doesn't disagree. I don't care. That's my opinion. I think it's bullshit. She should be fired. There's no excuse for that. This is bullshit. Let's hear what else this delusional compulsive liar has to say, because she's lying. If she's lying about this, she's probably lying about other stuff too. Let's continue to listen to this interview.
Still beat myself up, just the fact that I allowed her to trigger me. So it's just, there's no excuse for what I did, for what I said. And it was the heat of the moment. I'm in a rough neighborhood. I'm always used to having my husband by my side. And I felt attacked. And I was triggered by Kenya. And I was talking with Kelly on the side, like, you know how girls hype each other up or whatever. Yeah. And it was a side convo. I was talking with Kelly and I mentioned a pistol, which I never should have. And I was wrong.
Okay, so we're done talking about that already. Here, yeah. I think, to me, in my opinion, I think she's not forgiving at all. I don't believe her apology. Her apology has there's no sincerity behind it at all, in my opinion. There's no sincerity. There's no sincerity at all. The reason why is because now Bravo is giving her the green light to use Kenya Moore's name for a storyline. That's what she's planning on doing. She's gonna milk Kenya Moore's name for a storyline. And I blame Bravo for this crap. I blame Bravo for this crap. Bravo messed up big time. They dropped the ball big time here. No accountability held for Brit Eady whatsoever. None. No accountability held for her whatsoever. Like I mentioned, threatening Kenya Moore with a pistol, and now they're stuck with her. They're stuck in the mud with her. They're stuck with a liar. They're stuck with a liar. If she's lying about, like I mentioned earlier, if she's lying about this, what else is she lying about? She must be lying about other stuff too. What else is she lying about besides this? Probably got more lies. Probably got more lies. She's got more lies. She lying about what else she can be lying about? It's crazy. Yeah. It seemed to me like Angela was the one that had Kenya's back. To me, Keely was pretty sneaky to me. And Portia, I believe, try to get Kenya fired. Kenya, in my opinion, she messed up. We know about her situation already. She should obviously Bravo got rid of her. They got rid of her, and she shouldn't have any contact with the cast members, because it's a toxic situation. It's a toxic situation. So, I mean, as far as Brit Eady, no, I don't trust her apology at all. I don't trust it. I don't trust her. I don't trust her apology whatsoever. I don't trust it. She has an insurance. She's in the insurance business. She's in the insurance business, and now it's known now that she had insurance fraud. She's caught up in insurance fraud. This is well known now. And then she's talking about, she felt when the women were going for brunch, all the women from the cast were going for brunch, she felt she was getting a cold shoulder. She got a cold shoulder. Like she wasn't getting, like the women weren't having her back. She had a cold shoulder. But what do you expect? Of course, they're going to give you a cold shoulder when you're threatening a cast member with threatening a cast member with the pow pow, threatening a cast member with the pow pow, and there's no pow pow to begin with. It's a bunch of lies. You're just lying. You're lying. You're lying about that. So how can the cast members have your back and respect you? How can they respect a liar? How can they respect a liar? And you're looking for respect, and you're looking for some sympathy and some and forgiveness for what you did. They're not going to forgive that. especially when you're caught up in especially when you're caught up in insurance fraud. You're caught up in insurance fraud. They don't respect that. They're not gonna respect that at all. Then it's known as well too. It's known, and this was never mentioned. This was never mentioned. You're never straightforward about this. It was known that you're an escort in the past, and you got into OnlyFans. That's Brit Eady. Brit Eady got into OnlyFans and was an escort in the past, but it was never mentioned. She never mentioned it. Whether she has the right to mention it or not, still, I mean, you're trying to be transparent and honest when you come on when you're part of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But you're not mentioning these things to be transparent and honest. What do you expect? Those cast members aren't going to respect you. Like I said, man, she's using Kenya Moore's name as a storyline. She's trying to use her name and milk her name. That's it. That's all this Brit Eady chick's doing. That's all she's doing. This is all she's doing. And I blame, like I said, I blame Bravo for not getting rid of this chick. They should be getting rid of her. They should get rid of her. Like I said, they just trying to use her. That's all. But they should get rid of her. In my opinion, you should get rid of her. It's a mistake. It's a mistake to have her there. They're basically have remain on the cast a liar. They have a liar remaining on the cast. They wanted to remain there. To me, it doesn't make. That's just my opinion. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. That's my opinion. But that's my opinion. Anyhow, I have nothing else to say about this. That's all I got to say. Nothing else to say. That's it. I got nothing else. Again, hit the like and subscribe button. More entertainment news, celebrity gossip TV. That's all I got to say about this. Until next time, peace and out.